things of that sort.
So real quick on the hard drive, then
Sure.
I know now if we would have had this conversation, I don't know, 5 years ago, we probably would say, oh yeah, a terabyte is enough. So if you had to go shopping right now for a guy, he is freshly divorced, and he says, you know what, I'm going to start, first thing is buy a hard drive. What size would you recommend that he gets?
3 terabytes.
3. All right.
Right. It's going to be a block. I actually usually have one sitting around here. But it's going to be a block. Nowadays, they're not too big. A small little block. Again, I had one here. I can show you what it looks like, but it's not that big anymore. Have one of those blocks.
Because I have one literally.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it may be, they're coming down in price, maybe 100, 150.
Okay.
Something like that. They're not too bad. But and here's the thing, is however you want to do it. If you want a separate drive for every year, obviously you don't need that much of space. But if you want to have stuff that's going to have multiple years on it, get bigger stuff so you don't have to worry about all that finagling. Every piece you have to worry about where you're going to keep it at.
Okay. So could we perhaps do a hard drive for one hard drive exclusively for important documents? Another hard drive, we'll say, for photos that we wouldn't want to lose and destroy. Or would you, how would you segment that? Do you think
they would be,
that's a good catalog?
What's going to be what's going to take up the most space are the pictures.
Yes. And
the pictures are going to take up the majority of the space. And I'm saying 3 terabytes, assuming everyone's going to have pictures. If it's just data and just scan documents, and again, it's back to when you're scanning, you have to know how to scan. You scan at 300 dots per inch DPI, and you scan it in color. Please scan them in color, never in black and white, because color means something when you're looking at it. And if you have to print it, people want to see the color. So you want to scan it in color. Do not, if it's front and back, blah, 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 that's fine. But you want to separate it. You can get those for relatively small bite sizes, and they don't take up so much space. You won't need that much space. It's the pictures that's going to really, really do it for you. JPEG pictures, things of that sort. If it says scan, make sure you scan it as a PDF and not as a JPEG.
Okay.
If it's going to be a document. Now, if it's a picture, keep it in its original format and go from there, whatever it is, because you did it one way for a reason. And on your cell phones, when you're taking pictures, people, please do not take pictures at the highest resolution. Don't do it. Medium is good. Even slightly, if it's got 10 ranges, the options of 4 and 5, let's say, right at that cusp going down, because we're not printing these pictures. We're not printing them in poster sizes. So keep them in JPEG, keep them small. That includes the video. And when you're talking about video, take 1 minute videos. Don't say, I'm keeping it for 20 minutes, and you're going to have issues. Now, obviously, there are going to be circumstances that you may not want to stop and start and stop and stop. Heaven forbid you get stopped by the police and you got to record them, right? So let it roll. Worry about the consequences later. There's other ways of downloading those. We talk about, there's the where you click them together, airdrop them if you have an iPhone. Otherwise, you can put them in the cloud and drop them in some other ways. Again, just talking about the various storages. But when you're doing 1 minute, you can easily text a 1 minute video to somebody.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. The 1 minute is for the texting that to another location.
And I think,
say again?
I was going to say, definitely, I think a lot of people, well, maybe not my over 45 men out here, but certainly a lot of folks are probably getting used to 1 minute vids, because that's what Instagram Reels really goes for, YouTube Shorts. I think people are probably funny. They'll use it for social media, but you're right. When they're recording an event, they'll let that bad boy run for 4 or 5 minutes, and then you can't send it to anyone without chopping it up.
Not at all. It's like, who wants to deal with all that stuff? Hey, just stop. Because trust and believe, it takes all of 1 or 2 seconds to stop and start again. So let that be sink in a little bit.